Today's video is about finding your neutral pelvis on the floor. Props you might need are a pillow for head support, a yoga strap, or strong resistance band, or a bath towel to aid in stretching. So let's start lying down. Close your eyes for a moment, place your hands on your low belly, and just start breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Feeling your back connected to the floor, your head heavy, your feet connected to the floor, and your tailbone sacral area. Let your shoulders soften, your jaw. Wherever you're holding tension, just let it go. Place your fingertips on your hip bones, thumbs behind. Inhale, exhale, tuck your tail, pressing your low back into the floor gently. Then arch your low back, tilting your pelvis forward. Inhale, rock back. That's called posterior tilt. Inhale, rock forward. That's anterior tilt. And do a few more. Try to keep your hips real soft and mushy. Then come back. Find the neutral position. Some people find it by leveling their pubis and their hip bones on an even plane. Make sure that you're not doing this by flaring your rib cage. Let your ribs be soft. Place your hands underneath your ribs. Breathe into them wide and into the back. And exhale, soften. Try to keep your pelvis neutral as you're doing this. So just finding expansion, width and length in your torso. And one more. So before we go into neutral bridging, let's open up your hamstrings and stretch out your glutes by placing your strap or whatever object you have into your arch and extend your leg long. Now, the tendency is to tuck, and I'm gonna not get the stretch I want through that. So drive your sit bones away from your chest, your pubis, the base of your front pelvis, pulling towards your left shin. Bend your knee. Exhale, lengthen the leg towards the ceiling, aiming for that stretch high up. Inhale. Exhale, push. Let your arm bones sink towards the floor, releasing any unnecessary grip on the upper body. So this is about a 2-second hold on that extension, and then bend. So active stretching is a great way to get some more mobility. And if you're not feeling this, check out your pelvic position. I don't care if your leg lengthens all the way, that could be fine too. Notice if the stretch is there. I'm a horrible counter. I like to talk too much as I teach. So think 8 to 10 of these reps. And then land center. Rock your leg to the left slightly, and then come back to center. And left. Now, if you have a lot of instability in your pelvis, I like the opposite leg on the floor. If you feel pretty good, the long leg can help you find more of that neutral pelvic position. So as you're stretching, make sure you're not being too aggressive where your body fights and grips. It's gentle, it's easy. And one more. Bend that knee, place the other leg in, and extend. I'm doing a long leg, you can bend again. Bend your left leg, extend up, find that high hamstring stretch. Inhale, get your breath to coordinate with your stretching. Exhale. Again, your pubis is pushing towards the wall in front of you. And you'll notice as you do that, you create more space in the rest of your back. A lot of us, including myself, we don't get the pinky toe to pull towards your shin. So think of the pinky toe and the big toe pulling evenly towards your shin. The bottom leg is rotated parallel. So think of your right knee shooting up towards the ceiling rather than flopping out to the side. Pause there, cross your leg, come back in. And exhale to help support stability. And come back in. Think of your heel of your right foot pushing against the floor, your tail and your head. Feel those ribs sink into the floor beneath you as you're doing this. So we're thinking length, length, length. and let's do one more. Now for piriformis, I like to sit up. You could also do that on the floor like you were with just one leg forward. And here, make sure your tail is not up. You want to anchor that tailbone down. If that's not accessible to you, you could place the strap around your thigh and hold it there. But for today, place your right leg over your left. Notice I'm rounded. Lengthen your sacrum in and up. Feel that stretch on that outer part of your body. Push the right knee away. And then you can do a little bit of a release. And exhale, lengthen the spine, push the knee away. Don't think so much of how much mobility you have in this. If this is enough, stay there. Just make sure you're feeling it in the right pocket on that outer hip. You could also do this sitting on a chair. You could do this lying on the floor with your leg on the wall, like so, at a 90-degree angle, and that gives you a little more leverage. So options, you can play around with what works best for you, and let's switch sides. So if you tend to be a tucker, you might be really tight in these areas. So the focus of what we're doing is to open them up so we can get you in a better position before we go into our stabilization and strengthening work. Notice again, this is some active stretching. Again, 8 to 10. I know I'm messing that up, but you can count. So lie back down. Let's get into the work. Find your neutral pelvis. Take a breath in. And feel your two hip bones, the front and the back, those 4 points, narrowing towards one another to activate your core. Inhale. Exhale, narrow, and then feel that energy lengthening up rather than compressing. Just do that a few more times. Notice if the effort's too much that you're changing that spinal position. A lot of times it's a little bit less effort and a little bit more brain focus. Now, grab your sit bones. Pull energetically your heels towards your sit bones and then float your hips to a bridge. And then as you lower your hips, feel them widening towards your outer heels. A lot of us tend to tuck under. We want to keep neutral. Exhale, lift up, finding your core, lifting. Shoot those knees towards the wall in front of you. Pull your heels towards your butt and feel this. Hands on your ribs. Inhale. Exhale, sink those ribs down. And then drop your pelvis. Full moon, people. Spread those butt cheeks. Smile those sit bones wide. Exhale, lift it up. If this is too much in your low back, lessen the range. And lower it down. Let's do one more. Another great option is to place a pillow or block in between your legs, but we can find that just by thought. So put a little bit more pressure into your big toe mounds and feel those inner thighs activate a little bit more. Stay there. Feel the 4 points of your toe mounds, or the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner outer corner of your heels, and lower it down. Do one more bridge, focusing on those 4 points of each foot and lift. So this might be enough for you. Another option is to lift one heel up, keeping those hips level. Now really focus on that left high sit bone area, awake and supporting you. Lower the heel down, lift the other heel. Are you going back into that extension? Let those ribs soften. Another option is to float one leg up and then lower it down. Now, if you start getting a lot of wobbles, then you need to modify and maybe stick with 2 feet down, just the heel lift. Modifications are great. Always go back to, am I feeling this in the right spot? And then you go from there. Another option is to float the arms up. A little more challenging. If that's too much, arms can stay down. Another option too is floating that leg up, lowering the pelvis down evenly, lifting it back up. So I'm giving you lots of options. Be smart. Imagine you have 2 hot cups of coffee on your pelvis. If you get a little bit shaky, not going to be cute. And let's do one more. I'm taping this early, so I picked coffee over alcohol. And other leg up, drop it down. Notice which leg is stronger. Another option is to place a foam roller underneath your foot instead to activate a little bit more stability and challenge. And then lower that leg down, roll down, rock your hips side to side. So that was some coordination with your back chain and your core activating simultaneously. All right, have fun.